Low interest rates. I mean, where we are now, interest rates are elevated. Clearly, they are not the kind of rates that someone who is trying to pay a mortgage and trying to pay for the purchase of a house can afford, both in terms of the tenor of the money and the rate. We're talking about, give or take, 12%. I would say, give or take, 12% should be the target that we aim at, something that's affordable. And it will take the creativity of the whole, all the stakeholders, government, the private sector, Federal Housing Authority, Nigerian Sovereign Investment Authority, Federal Mortgage Bank, as I said before, Ministry of Finance Incorporated, the pension funds, the investment funds, the insurance funds of life, the long-term pools of money for life insurance investments. The whole ecosystem will need to come together to really get the housing sector going through affordability of housing. All the other ingredients are there in this country. So it's a veritable area for value-added employment and growth of the economy. Ruth, it's when you say what type of funding will it be, clearly it is in the main part debt funding. And what it is, there will be intermediation. And when I say intermediation, I mean there will be a passing. So the long-term funds that is in the hands of the institutional investors will be made available through vehicles, probably through the Ministry of Finance Incorporated, or for mortgages, and through the National Sovereign Investment Authority for housing construction. Their expertise is in these areas, and so it is debt financing, and there will be multiple vehicles that are used. As for CNG buses, the infrastructure is being rolled out. At the moment, there is already an initiative, and I did have the privilege and the opportunity just last Friday to be at an assembly plant for production, assembling from semi-knockdown parts, assembly of mass transit CNG buses, and it's actually bi-fuel. It can run, these can run on petrol, and they can run on CNG. The issue is that CNG is almost between 25 and maybe 30% cheaper, and that's a veritable saving for all those that, and so that will be reflected, of course, in transport costs, and of course, the affordability for people who even drive themselves. And as for Kunle Business Day, the procurement is on. 600 buses are on their way, and as I said, they are not all to be purchased fully built. There's also a large portion that all the assemblers that are available in Nigeria have been given business, they've been given orders. Also, there are about 30,000 conversion kits coming in. There is no policy of, in fact, it's the opposite. The policy, as was announced by the Minister for Information, is that not only is the intervention to bring down fares and cost of transportation and therefore cost of living for Nigerians as a whole through the government's presidential compressed natural gas initiative, but now it is a government procurement policy. And I don't think we have to look far or examine in detail before we can see the opportunity that this now gives in Nigeria across the whole value chain. Thank you.
Well, there was a question about charging points. The man from Radio Nigeria.
Radio Nigeria. Yes, sorry, I abbreviated, trying to save your time as much as anybody. I abbreviated by talking about infrastructure. Of course, infrastructure includes charging points. And I must say this also, at the same time, the attempt is being made to move to electric vehicles. So the infrastructure for electric vehicles, charging points, it's a business. If you set up charging points, people will come and patronize you. Similarly, there is a rollout, and I'm sure it will be announced this month, there is a rollout of infrastructure, of places where that are being tooled at the moment so that they can refuel CNG. And of course, as I said earlier, there's the opportunity. There are 30,000 conversion kits coming in. That's through the government initiative. And any private sector person that is enterprising can also bring their own. You can convert Keke Marwa, you can convert buses, you can convert cars to CNG. You just put the fuel, they put the tank in the boot, and you are virtually ready to go once they've wired it up. So it is a huge opportunity, and it's a decisive move, even for climate change. And there are benefits to be had there, enormous economic benefits to be had. All around the world, the biggest funding available is for anything to do with climate change, climate adaptation, protecting the environment, transiting from fossil fuels, transiting away from diesel and petrol. And we are definitely on that track, and we will make use of every opportunity, and we will seek out all the options there are for capturing carbon credits and putting them into the market and being rewarded with funding.